He just looks like he got flattened by a steamroller. These are the worst Pokemon cards of all time. Let's see what we got. Okay. First up, we got Gorados Rumble. This is great. Rumble was a Wii game that they released, and they did a set in the style of the Rumble game. And by gosh, this is just a geometric mess. Such a bad card, too. Totally unusable. Honestly, though, I don't hate the way that this looks. It's kind of cool. I would put this card in my binder. I would never use it in a deck, but this is actually kind of a cool looking card. This is the frumpiest looking Voltorb I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a Voltorb from a vending machine. In Japan, they have Pokemon card vending machines, and there's specialty cards available. These vending machines print off 3 randomized cards, and this is one of the specialty cards. This looks like a drunk 4-year-old drew this one, and honestly, I kind of love it. I can see why you might think that this is an awful card. It's almost kind of endearing. Honestly, the more I look at it, the more I like it. It's such a funny card. I've seen this one before. Imakuni. Imakuni? It's a question. Imakuni? I'm asking you, is that what it's called? This is Imakuni, and it's a really funny looking card. Apparently, all it does is it just confuses your own Pokemon. Not exactly super usable in the TCG. Very limited in terms of strategy, but genuinely, I think it's kind of a cool looking card. And apparently, it's one that collectors are looking for, and I could see why, because it's pretty silly, but it looks really funny, and it's totally useless. What a frumpy looking guy. This is the Rideon from the specialty vending machine one, and oh man, is this just the frumpiest looking Rideon you've ever seen. I love it. He's got his hand up too, so it's like he's a really pensive Rideon that's like considering the depths of life and reality. This guy's great, and it looks like his moveset is terrible. It's a Rideon that only does 10 damage or 30 plus, so I assume it's a coin flip thing. These vending machine ones are limited runs, so the likelihood of finding them is pretty low, but I feel like if you just went on eBay, you could probably find someone giving this stuff away. I like this kind of art style. Maybe I'm the only one, but I genuinely think this is a cool art style. This Gengar, he just looks like he got flattened by a steamroller. Okay, this is a Dark Gengar from Neo Destiny. Gengar's my favorite Pokemon, and I kind of think this card is cool. My first gut instinct is, oh, this is bad, but the longer I look at it, the more I'm like, okay, I actually like this card a lot. Neo Destiny was a much earlier set. They were taking more liberties with the art style, and it's just so hand-drawn, and it's so squashed, and it just looks cursed. He's a ghost Pokemon, so it's okay that he looks cursed like this. This one might be my favorite. What is this? This Onyx looks like it's having a really good time, or it just died. It actually seems like it's a pretty powerful card. His face is just like so content, and then it's got all those little Diglets just watching him from the background. This is the Onyx from Lost Thunder. I'm imagining that means that in Lost Thunder there's a bunch of other pencil crayon design style cards, and I want to go look at all of them because I kind of love this. For me, this is an appealing thing to look at. It's also just so funny to me because it's so ridiculous. It's such a silly drawing of Onyx. It's such a silly Pokemon to begin with. This is a really old card, and in fact, I think I have one of these in my collection somewhere. It doesn't look like it. I looked, I don't have maintenance. But this is a card from the original set. Basically, you just put 2 of your cards back into your deck, shuffle and draw 1 card. The idea being that trading 2 cards for 1 card isn't a great trade-off. If your hand was loaded with like too many energies, you could always load 2 back in. I mean, it's not super useful. There's a lot of better cards to do this. But at the time, there was such a limit in trainer cards that it's not surprising they had some maybe not super great trainer cards in the early days. Nowadays, the maintenance card is pretty much useless because there's so many better cards for deck search and for card draw. So I can see that this is not a super great card. This fills me with a lot of nostalgia, so it's hard, right?
Metapod! Harden!
The these are the OG base set cards, and I've looked at these so many times, and I collected these when I was a kid. There's this inherent nostalgia built in. I see it and I feel good, right? The nostalgia button gets pressed, but the reality is it's a terrible card in terms of usability for the game. Conversion 1 allows Porygon to change the opponent's weakness, and Conversion 2 allows it to change its resistance. So I guess the idea here being that like you could bring Porygon in, you could change the weakness type of a Pokemon you're up against and then swap out for it. Not totally useless. Realistically, just how low its HP is, like it's gonna get knocked out. So I actually don't think that this is the most useless card ever. Okay, I actually do have this card. I don't have a lot of cards left from the early days. I do have Energy Search, which is great. This is the one from Fossil, so it's pretty old. Not the oldest, but pretty old. And basically, Energy Search allows you to search your deck for a basic energy card and put it into your hand. The idea here being that there's better ways to energy ramp. Right, of course, there's lots of better ways now to energy ramp, but back when this came out, this was the only way to energy ramp. But I mean, in terms of playability now, there's so many better cards for doing that. But to harsh a card just because it was useful at one point, but now there's better cards, I don't know, seems to me like it's a little silly. Oh man, this is a great looking Slowbro. I like it, but I could see here that this basically can't attack if you have an even number of prize cards. You need to lose prize cards in order for this Pokemon to attack, and its only attack just immediately puts it to sleep. That has to be the most useless card around. This is the Slowbro from Dark Explorers, and as you can see, it's not great. I would agree that this is probably one of the worst cards ever made, because it's either you can't attack, or you attack and you're asleep. And it does decent damage, but it doesn't really do enough to knock anything serious out, so it's pretty much a useless card. I think this might be the most useless card in the TCG, but I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. If you found this video insightful, informative, or hopefully entertaining, then you should check out this video where I played through all of Pokemon Red using the original Prima strategy guide, and it's horrible and a lot of fun.